Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have, as part of our Star Wars week-long celebration of May the 4th, hope your May the 4th was fun. Um, it's not July 4th. I mean, we put off fireworks outside of Batu, but now that it's back, now that it's open in Disneyland anyway, um, today we have the the Ewoks Battle for Endor. This one is the sequel to the 1984 one. It's got the same characters. It's got the same little girl. What did you like about the first one? Did you like the Ewoks? Did you like the little girl? Good, because that's what you got. Because I'm really not ruining anything. Because in the first literally 3 minutes, first Dad gets recast as the principal from Breakfast Club, and he's the last among the three members of that little girl's family to die. And she got to watch him fight off marauders, basically creepy looking. I don't know what they're even called, but yeah, that guy right there. That guy's the leader, Tevok or something. I don't know. He knows. By the way, the son shows up. The boy shows up. He's the other original cast member, but um, he's guarding Mom's body from the attack on by the Marauders on an Ewok village. So it started out super dark, and she has this little bracelet on that basically tells, I guess, the life um, readings of each member of her family. Now it's useful as compared to like last time. I don't know how long they've been on Endor, the moon of Endor. Sorry, the moon of Endor. I don't know how long they've been on here, but apparently they're just getting their ship finally fixed, and these marauders attack. They just go nuts and start picking up Ewoks and sticking them in a cart. But they start shooting all the humans, and only little, what's her name? I honestly, uh, sorry, uh, I forgot her name, but she's a cute little blonde girl, and she's the only survivor, along with Wicket and his family, and she gets put in a cart because I guess she's useful. I don't know. The motive for this guy, this guy right here, is suspect. He needs some sort of power thing to do something. I was honestly, as compared to when I watched Caravan of Courage, where I tried to focus directly on the show by just lying on the couch and watching it and falling asleep periodically, I put up this on in the background while I was working on some other stuff. And I can get drawn into it and still see what's going on, like I do with a lot of shows and movies. I was paying attention, but I still couldn't figure out. He just needed this thing, and he basically hired a Power Rangers villain, a woman who can turn into a crow. This is all like Dungeons and Dragons fantasy level stuff here, or like Middle Earth stuff. But it's Ewoks instead of hobbits, and they're peaceful. They eat a lot. They live well. They're peaceful until you fight them, because of course, as we learn in Return of the Jedi, they took down the Empire. And then probably ate a bunch of the guys. That's canon. This isn't. But so anyway, along the way, the little girl and Wicket escape from custody, and they run into a weird little white creature. Looks like he stepped out of Labyrinth, like out of the movie Labyrinth, or maybe Dark Crystal or something. Again, more than likely, I mean it's made by Lucasfilm, but it had a very Jim Henson feel. Um, Maybe that was in the credits and I missed it, but he can run super fast, and that helps get him into and out of, and his friends out of all sorts of trouble. He, yes, becomes friends with them, and he takes them to a cabin in the woods. Not like a good idea in any case, especially if it's this creature you can't understand for the most part, and he's got these weird like droopy eyes. I don't know, baggy eyes, and he looks friendly enough. But they spend a few minutes there. They're only there like a few minutes before Wilford Brimley shows up, the Quaker Oats guy, the diabetes guy. So he's diabetes. If you ever see that meme, diabetes, well, guess what? That's Wilford Brimley, and he is this grumpy old man. He kicks him out of the house, but that doesn't last long. He sees them like shivering in the cold outside of his cabin, and he's like, and they're trying to start a fire, and he's like, "You don't." He's like, don't put a start a fire out here to burn down the forest. You should do it in a stove inside." So he's just like a gruff exterior. He doesn't let anybody in except for Teak, which is apparently his roommate, and I guess he's helpful. He's fast, but I don't know what he does, except brings small, fuzzy, and blonde people to their house. Anyway, they become good friends. He takes care of them. He tells a story where he lost his best friend, who after they crash landed. Everybody's crash landing on the moon of this moon of Endor. What is going on with the moon of Endor, where everybody is? What is going on there? How are they not getting eaten by Ewoks the moment they start showing any kind of aggression? Because Ewoks know how to defend themselves. It's a proven fact. So anyway, and I guess he hadn't even run across Ewoks somehow. Either way, he's there. He can't fix his ship, and the story sort of meanders. There's a rescue operation. It's a battle for Endor. This guy kidnaps her again, and then also I'm telling you way too much of the story, and I really shouldn't. It's not like, if you're gonna watch it, all this is gonna be erased from your mind already, and you're gonna just see what I'm talking about. It's not like any of this is gonna stick. All I know is that there's conflicts, and yeah, there's a battle. There's like a castle that he lives in, like it's almost a Jabba's palace type of situation. And it's like in the old west, like his minions are down in the jail playing cards, and one cheats and they shoot each other. It's like the old west. It's kind of silly, but you do end up with a. By the way, this guy is played by Lurch, the guy who played Lurch in the Addams Family movies. He's super tall in the Addams Family, but he doesn't. He's certainly lean, and he's certainly tall, but he doesn't look any taller than anybody else, any of his minions in the movie. I would think he would tower above everybody, not just like Crow Woman or Power Ranger villain, whatever. she just serves certain purposes, and I don't know if she's ever dispatched, if she's ever, like, there's an end to it, like they were planning on doing a third one, like in the Ewok Adventures trilogy. That never happened. She didn't seem like much of a villain, because half the time she was in jail because she didn't give Tarok what he wanted, or whatever his name is. So yeah, her purpose was just trickery. She's another witch. Like, there's all sorts of magic people on Endor for some reason, like we saw with the Ewoks cartoon. There's Morag, there's Logray. There's no Logray in this one, by the way. I think it's just Wicket and his dad and a few others that get snatched up. I think if Logray was there, these guys wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in trying to burn down the village and kidnap everybody, because Logray's got some pretty solid skills. But what these guys do have, though, they have blurgs. Does that mean anything to you? If you've watched The Mandalorian, you watch season 1. It's what the Mandalorian had to learn how to ride. These big, like, giant, I don't know, turtle head. I don't know. They're just round, and they got big mouths, and they were the horses of the planet that they were on. That I forget what his name was. Taught Mando how to ride, but instinctively. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau they took the blurgs from this movie, and they're stop motion, blue screen kind of stuff, but they're mostly stop motion when they're on screen, and it's kind of great, and because you get to see some of the origins of the stuff that you love in The Mandalorian in this. But that's one of the biggest treats in this. There's a lot more shooting. It's super dark. This guy's super creepy looking, so it's a bit more mature than the last one. It's not fully rely on the shoulders of two children who are not excellent actors at this point in their lives. The girl is much better than she was in the last movie. She still can't feign fear, like on her face. She's distressed. She can cry. She can be excited. She can lose her parents, be grabbed by a pterodactyl type thing, and then dropped out of the sky, all in the span of like 20 minutes. And somehow, she's hanging outside a cabin at one point while Wicked's goofing around, and she's giggling just like nothing ever happened. Like the trauma of all of that. That is she like 8, 9, something like that? She's little, but the trauma of that would have just destroyed most kids. Like they would have been like, oh, this is a sweet release of death as I plummet to the ground after a pterodactyl drops me. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. So, anyway, yeah, this is again not a great movie. It's better than Caravan of Courage. I'll give it that. But that is a low bar. So, yeah, if you want to see Wilford Brimley battle alien dude with a stick and a sword versus a sword, sure, yeah, that's a thing. It's and the little girl, whenever there's real danger, she's out of the way. She's only ever something that anybody grabs in order to make her a damsel in distress, so that somebody has a reason to go from point A to point B, a rescue mission, whatever, all those kind of things. So that's what her job is. She's adorable, but yeah. So this is not the high point of the Star Wars saga, but you know what? If you need to watch all of them, you're gonna have to get through this, and it is a much better experience than the previous one. So go for it. Check it out. Just don't set your expectations too high. So that leaves tomorrow's episode in our week-long adventure. We're going to be watching the 2D micro series of the Clone Wars. This is from Gennady Tartakovsky. I hope I figure that out by tomorrow. Gennady Tartakovsky. He's known for Samurai Jack and the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Laboratory and a boatload of other things. It's definitely in that style, and I think it's something you might want to check out. But we'll talk about that tomorrow, because why would I double up here? I've already spent 13 minutes talking about this. Tomorrow is when we're going to talk about the 2D micro series, which is like 2 hours long, but 2.5 hours long. So micro. Anyway, it's micro compared to the Dave Filoni one. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you back here tomorrow on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge with the 2D micro series of the Clone Wars. See you then.